That's right, guys. We've finally done it. We have gone and purchased a MetaQuest 3. And this is going to be my opinion piece on what I think the MetaQuest 3 is like. And you can make up your own mind as to whether it's something that you feel that you need. So, let's go. A little bit of story about my Quest experience to get started so you know where I'm coming from. So, I had a Quest 2 and I bought that relatively early on at a Black Friday sale. It was a really good steal when Meta just took over Oculus, and had that for what I think it's going on about 3 years or so. I loved it when I first got it. Amazing experience. Blew me away for a while, and then I started to get used to it, and it honestly sort of took a little bit of a back seat. I used it for PC VR, was the main use case for me, mainly on the sim rig, and that was so amazing driving in VR. I absolutely loved it, and it really got me hooked into the VR experience and the sim racing experience, mind you. Then I started playing some standalone titles, and I really enjoyed that as well, and started to get into like the thrill of the fight. I enjoyed the Quest for fitness, definitely. Got into Les Mills fitness and those sort of games, which was awesome. Contractors was great. VR table tennis. Who doesn't love VR table tennis? Onward, and many, many, many more titles, and really enjoyed them. Loved it. But as time went on, never really played it so much for standalone, and more got into PC VR, Half-Life Alyx as you do, any sim racing title, attempted Cyberpunk a few times, but it wasn't really very playable, Cyberpunk, but it was still a cool experience. I did spend a couple of hours in there, and yeah, Cyberpunk blew my mind in VR, and I was pretty excited to see if the Quest 3 would do that. But today, we're not going to be talking about PC VR too much. We're mainly going to be focusing on the standalone experience, but also maybe we'll throw in a PC VR game just to see what that looks like too. So I would probably call myself a casual VR user, someone who really just loves technology, and I really do love the VR immersion. You can't beat that as far as I'm concerned. And you just get such a different experience of gaming that, yeah, it's amazing. It's not something that I can play for hours and hours and hours on end. VR gets to me eventually, but yeah, do get a little bit sick every now and then from it, but I do stop before that happens. But it does stop my experience, but it's much better than what it was when I first bought it. So, as the title says, I ventured out, bought a Quest 3. I bought it secondhand off Facebook Marketplace. It was a pretty good deal, not the best deal, and I did go for the 128 gig version. And the reason that I did that is because I mainly play PC VR and didn't really see the need to get the 512 gig one, which was going to be an extra $200 odd. And yeah, for me, PC VR is where I spend most of my time, so that's where it's at. But I would recommend that if you are going to go towards a Quest 3 and you are going to play a lot of standalone games, I mean Batman and a few of those games, the bigger ones are really starting to take up some space. So I would recommend getting the 512 gig version. I'm pretty sure that's all they sell now in the Quest 3. So I don't think that they do the 128 gig one anymore. So food for thought. What are my thoughts on the Quest 3? Let's get into it. So when I first started using the Quest 3, for a couple of days, I think I wasn't really that excited, to be honest. I didn't think it was that big of an upgrade compared to the Quest 2. I don't know why. I think it was just I had really high expectations of it, and I thought that, wow, this is going to be like so much better. It's just going to be amazing, and it's going to be because it's like twice the price, and yeah. But when I got it and I started using it, it felt like the same experience again, without the wow factor. And it probably wasn't until about, I would say, a week into using it, jumping into PC VR, jumping back into the old titles a little bit more, and really just having a look around and going into a bit more into the details. And I started to realize that yes, it is actually quite a solid upgrade from the Quest 2. And I can tell you that the resolution is amazing, so much better. We're going to do pros and cons in a minute. But yeah, I did feel that the upgrades were good. The lenses were amazing. The lenses are almost worth the money in themselves. So it really made a very big difference. And yeah, I do feel like it was a big step up. So let's have a look at the footage and we'll talk a bit about it. Okay, so I do love the layout of the Quest 3. I do think it's very usable for everyone. Look at the home that you go to. You can change your home, make it look however you wish. But this is pretty amazing. It's a lot clearer than what it used to be, I must say. And it looks really, really good. And all this footage was taken direct from the Quest headset, mind you. So it's not through the PC. It is literally just recorded direct from the Quest. So this will give you the best idea of what it looks like in the headset. Anyway, so we're going to jump into just first encounters, which is one thing that is preloaded on the Quest. You guys have probably already seen this, but it is a very, very, very good implementation of what the mixed reality can do. And it's funny because the mixed reality wasn't really something that I was very excited for, to be honest. I didn't really think that, that was something that was going to really grab my attention too much. I thought it was just going to be a bit of fun, and that's about it. But it wasn't until I started using it more and more, and then I really started to understand how good this actually is. It's so good to be able to look around and see what's happening, and like make sure you don't step on any of your pets or trip over any of your furniture. But even just having that interaction with your space is pretty damn cool. It really brings the Quest into a place where it feels like it's a part of the furniture or something like that. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, you see from here, like, look at the resolution. It looks so good. And I really do rate it. And things like this that you can do, like see outside of your room or your walls, and be able to see what's happening on the outside in a VR space. Pretty crazy, I must say. Pretty crazy as my partner sits there and playing on her phone. Yeah, pretty cool experience. So these guys are just trying to break in to my house. And this kind of blew me away a little bit because, yeah, like I said, like when I first used the Quest, when I first used my Quest 2, it blew me away totally. I was like, what is this? This is just another world. Like your mind shift, your paradigm shift in your mind just changes totally. And this gave me a little bit of that experience. Just because it's something that I never really thought that would be something that would be beneficial or would be even any fun. But yeah, I actually really enjoyed this first encounter experience thing. It really sort of just opened my mind a fair bit into how good mixed reality can be. And yeah, I really enjoyed it. I passed it on to some of my little nephews and it gave them a go, and they loved it as well. They thought it was a really fun experience. And I think it's great to bring sort of younger kids into this experience, because this is just something fun that they can just jump in and yeah, really would blow their mind, especially if they haven't used VR before. This would be a hell of a lot of fun for kids, and I wouldn't recommend any kid under the age of maybe 13 use this. I don't think the mind would like it too much, but really cool experience and a hell of a lot of fun. So yeah, that's one experience, and then we'll sort of jump on into the next experience, which is the thrill of the fight. Now, I love this game. It's a boxing simulator. It was one of the very first Quest games. The graphics are nothing special, nothing super exciting, but when you see the mixed reality part of this, like, it's amazing. Like, look at that. That looks like it's literally inside your house. You've got your own speedball. Crazy, absolutely crazy. There's a boxing bag hanging over there. You can see me in the mirror looking like an absolute tool in my lounge room. But just look at it though, so cool. It's amazing that this is in your room. And then yeah, you got the dummy. You can sit the dummy. Like, that's amazing. Like, if you had a bag and you put a boxing bag up, you could almost have some fun. Like, literally in your garage or something. Make it look like you're punching a dummy, but actually punching a bag. You don't know if your Quest controllers would like that. But, yeah, like, such a cool experience. It really is. And then I thought, why not? We'll throw someone in, see what it looks like when you're actually versing a computer opponent. And this is one thing that really sort of blew my mind. When this guy was right in my grill, but also in my lounge room.
Let's make this a clean fight.
Like, I didn't think that this was, yeah, possible. And the graphics, look at how nice that looks. This looks so much better than the Quest 2, mind you. And just the fact that this can happen in your lounge room is kind of scary. Kind of damn cool, but kind of damn scary. And so good. Like, no longer you have to worry about punching your TV or punching your walls. You'll see I've got the protective space, the boundary set up. But yeah, like, damn awesome. Damn awesome. And this was probably one of my best experiences in MR. Straight off the bat. And this game's a relatively old game, and I know there is a Thrill of the Fight 2 coming out soon, so I'm excited for that. Hopefully the graphics step up a little bit, but like, look, he looks like he's literally standing on my floor. Such a cool experience, I must say. And yeah, as we try not to get crushed by this guy, just to be able to do this, it really blows my mind, actually. It really does. And that's the one thing about the mixed reality as well, is you do need good lighting for it to work well. I mean, I feel like from the early talk of how MR was, it wasn't a very good experience, and it seems to have improved a lot from what I've been told. So I'm coming in a bit late. I've had a lot of firmware updates, so... And this is where sometimes my Quest had issues, is that I was trying to play VR table tennis, and for some reason it was spawning me outside of my boundary. And every now and then you get these little quirks with VR. See, it thought I was inside that building, but I'm literally outside. And I tried a few different things. I thought it was just my boundary, so I jumped in, I reset my boundary, and I thought that would fix it. But it didn't, and I tried a few different things and just couldn't get it to work. So the Quest and Meta software, it's not infallible, and that was one thing that has kind of just, it creeps in every now and then. You just want to jump in and have a quick game in VR, but it just doesn't do what you want it to do sometimes, and you have to restart the headset, restart your computer, whatever it may be, just to get it to work. And that's kind of frustrating sometimes. And that's what sort of stops me going full VR, PC VR, full time, is because sometimes it is just frustrating to use. Like, it really is. But I must say that Quest and Meta probably have the best software, or one of the best softwares going around at the moment. It's probably one of the most advanced, and so much easier than some other headsets I've used, like the HP G2. This is now better software than the Quest 2 that I had. I've tried some other headsets which didn't really excite me too much, and they were a little bit clumsy to use. But I must say that even though sometimes the Quest can have issues, it's perfectly fine most of the time. But it's not quite there yet for me to go VR full time. I still love my triple screens for sim racing, but when you see this, like, playing table tennis now, I must say that I feel it has had some improvements. And look at the mixed reality version of table tennis. We just went from VR to MR, and this is cool to have a table tennis table in your house without having it taking up all your space. This is cool because I always wanted a table tennis table in my house. My cousins had one, and that was a heap of fun. We always had heaps of games, but obviously didn't have one in my own house, didn't have the space for that, or probably the money at the time. And Now you can literally do this anywhere. Even if you've got a tiny little space, you can, as long as you fit yourself in there and you can swing your arms around enough, you can play table tennis against anyone inside your lounge room. That's so cool. Such a good experience. And it looks clean and crisp too. Really, really, like much better than the Quest 2, to be honest. Once your eyes sort of get used to it, you'll realize that, yeah, it does look cleaner and crisper than the Quest 2.
This is your time to shine.
And this was one game that kind of caught me by surprise. I do love my fitness games. This is Les Mills. And if you see this, can you check this out? Like it does mixed reality in a pretty good way. Is it opens up a wall in your house and uses that to send the obstacles or the whatever they are, the objects at you for you to punch and duck under and do a whole range of things. Like this is a cool adaptation of a fitness game. And it's actually a hell of a lot of fun too, this game. It's great if you want to jump in, and it gets you sweating. It literally gets you working. And that's the point, I think. And I must say, my arms get sore after this game. But the graphics, look at the quality. Man, it looks so good. And while this game is not like massively graphically intensive, you can definitely tell the smoothness difference and also the graphical quality difference between the Quest 3 and the Quest 2, for sure. But a great fitness workout, really good fun too. And I do like the way that the trainers talk to you as you're doing your workout. They do keep you motivated as well, and it does feel like they're talking to you, and what they say is pretty much spot on to how you're feeling most of the time. So that's pretty cool. It does get a little bit repetitive, this game, and they just brought out some new content which I'm excited to try. But yeah, this is probably my go-to fitness game, and it just feels good. It feels like a really good game, and something that I think you guys could enjoy too if you're into fitness. Alright, so moving on, let's get into the next game, which is Contractors. Now, Contractors is a pretty old game, but it is a very good game, and it still is probably one of the best shooters that you can get outside of Pavlov. But there's new shooters coming out all the time, and they are quite good. So with Contractors, this is just a multiplayer game, and it's also, you can play single player, and it gives you a lot of tasks and missions to do, but the gunplay is really good. The grenade throwing, the knife throwing, it's all nice. And if you look at the guns and you look at the detail, pretty nice. And I must say, like, you can get some different lighting as well. There seems like there's a little bit more lighting in this game. And see, the pistol looks good. Damn good. And this game has just brought out, well, it's been out for a little while, but it's Contractors, the Battle Royale, like Call of Duty, and it's literally like Call of Duty. It's so good. And I've been playing it a little bit, and I really enjoy it. There doesn't seem to be the player base just yet for it to be full lobbies, and it can feel quite empty sometimes, but you've got to try that. If you haven't tried it, definitely try it. But look at the slide. Sound effects are great, and yeah, this is one of the best shooters, and mainly because of mods. There's so many mods for this game, it's out of control. You can do Halo type multiplayer maps, and they've got all different types of maps, from Call of Duty maps, you name it. And such a good game. If you haven't tried it, I recommend giving it a go. But you'll see that it does look better on the Quest 3. I'm not sure if it's had a Quest 3 update, but I can tell you that it does definitely look cleaner and a lot sharper than the Quest 2. As we try and chop down a few zombies here, just to show you guys what the gunplay looks like. And yeah, it's a heap of fun and a cool game, and it's been a really good game. And I'm not the best at the reloads, but yeah, a lot of fun. So I love the home screen. I love the way you can sort of just, you can look at it. It can be any size. You can change it. You can move it. You can put it wherever you wish. Really good. Really good. It's quite an easy functional system to use as well on the home screen. It's getting easier to use every day. And it does seem to be a lot snappier and a lot more functional. Or maybe just quicker, maybe not functional, but just a lot more quicker. They're always making improvements to it, and I believe there is a new improvement coming soon, a new update, which is supposed to make these menus a bit quicker. But what we'll jump into some PC VR right now, and we'll have a look at just a basic PC VR game. It's called Crisis Brigade 2, and if you've ever played Time Crisis, and you enjoyed that, I know I'm showing my age here, but this is similar to Time Crisis, but in VR. And I always wish that Time Crisis, that I could be more involved, even though it was cool and fun in arcades. This is kind of next level Time Crisis. And I don't know if it's a very well-known game, but you'll see that this is actually a hell of a lot of fun and pretty cool. And it gets you working too, I'll tell you that. So you're on a time limit, and they throw you into the action. And you got to be very precise with your shooting too, because there is a firing range where you can dial in your skills, but you're trying to shoot guys a long way away. So, but you got to take cover too. You got to duck in, hide behind cover. But the graphics in this, you can tell. Like, look at the clarity of the PC VR here. And probably the only thing is that you don't get the blacks. Like, you don't get the PC VR. The PlayStation VR blacks of the OLED screen. But it still looks cool. Like, look at that gun, clean. Looks sharp. It does look a hell of a lot better. It makes seeing those guys in the distance a lot easier, and they stand out a lot more. And you can get power-ups as you play. You can't move around. It's all kind of on a trail, on a train track, so to speak. But they do put you in some pretty good situations where you got to work your way out. But look how clean it looks. It looks quite good. And this is the main reason why I bought this, is for PC VR. Because, yeah, I do enjoy PC VR and sim racing. And if it looks clean and crisp like this, amazing. So good. The resolution is a kick up a notch, for sure. But yeah, this game is a hell of a lot of fun as well. So, okay, so let's break it down. The pros and cons. The pros. Well, first of all, the lenses are absolutely amazing. They are so good. They are as good as everyone says they are. They're really crispy, really sharp, and fantastic. The sweet spot is, for me, I don't know if it's my eyesight. My eyesight's pretty bad. But the sweet spot for me feels like it's non-existent. It feels like you don't even need a sweet spot. It's just everywhere. Maybe it could just be me, but I feel like it doesn't even need an IPD adjustment. I've tried the IPD, scrolling it all the way across and in, and it's moving, but it looks crisp no matter where I look. And I don't know if that's just me, but yeah, it looks fantastic for me. So no complaints there. The resolution is great. It's amazing. The clarity and the distance is probably the biggest difference. The Quest 2 used to be really sharp up close, but as soon as you went any distance in front of you, it got pretty blurry pretty quick. And this is just clarity from start to finish. It could improve a little bit due to the compression in the USB, or especially over Wi-Fi, but it's good. It's great. I can't really complain there. The mixed reality experiences is one thing that really took me by surprise. That is so much fun and so cool, and I want more games with mixed reality because, yeah, damn cool. Something that really caught me by surprise. Exceeded my expectations, definitely. The versatility of the Quest 3 is probably the biggest thing. You can do PCVR, you can do standalone, you can do wireless. You don't need any space stations for the controllers. It's just such a versatile thing that's why I bought it. It's so versatile and so just durable. It can do anything and anything, and that's kind of what I want. So yeah, amazing. The software has improved dramatically, I would say. It's so quick to switch between PCVR, wireless, standalone. Like, it's just so quick. The software has really improved, so that's great. The new controllers are great. Like, they feel great in the hand. They're a marginal improvement over the previous ones. The only thing that I would say about the controllers, actually I might get into the cons, we'll leave that. The download speeds with the headset seem to be much better, and the Wi-Fi usage seems to be a lot better as well. It seems like a big increase in performance, so that's cool. Meta just can't pump out the updates every like so often. I just get so many of them. Every time I turn my headset off, it feels like it's updating, and then it comes in with something new. So good on you, Meta. Not a massive fan of Meta, but I do like the way that they're going about VR. They're really pushing the space forward. Gotta love that. The headset feels more balanced, 100%. It makes it feel even lighter to a degree because of just how much closer it is to your face. It's not hanging off the front of you. And also I have the Kiwi Design head strap on mine, which come with it when I bought it secondhand, and also the straps for my hands. And all that feels great. The aftermarket support seems to be a lot. Massive amount of aftermarket support, so that's good, because the Meta stuff is very expensive. And to be honest, it's not that great a quality. So the software seems great to jump in and out of PCVR for sure. It used to be quite clumsy to do that. Now it's just pretty damn smooth. You don't have to reset your headset sometimes. It all just seems to work. You can go from PCVR wired to Wi-Fi just by unplugging it. Amazing. That's how it should have been. I think the price is great, to be honest. I think the price is pretty good for such a good quality headset. I mean, it's far and beyond some of the other PC or VR headsets that, like, should be better than what they are, but they're 5 times the price. So pretty amazing. I like it. Great work, Meta. And I would say that even if you were going to pick up a Quest 2 or a Quest 3S, you're relatively new to VR and you just want to try it out, the prices are amazing. The prices are quite good for what you get, and like, some people will buy it, use it, and maybe not follow on with using it. They might not like it. They might get sickness, motion sickness. I get that. So yeah, it's not a massive expense that you can't on-sell it onto someone else and not lose so much money. So it's worth a try. For the experiences, it's definitely worth a try. And now let's finish off with the cons. So the big ones. The battery life. Man, it's just viable. I would say just viable. It averages about an hour and a half to maybe 2.5 hours, depending on what you're doing. The MR seems to sort of drain a lot of battery power to a degree. Running on PCVR doesn't seem to use as much battery, I think, as far as I can see. So yeah, that's not so bad. But yeah, the battery life, they really just gave us the minimum, I can tell you that. The mixed reality experiences do not like dark areas at all, and that's understandable. Small cameras, very sensitive to light, so make sure you have lighting on all the time if you're going to be using mixed reality, and I think that helps your battery life too, to be honest. The controllers themselves, they don't seem to track as well as the Quest 2 controllers. I had very little problems, if any. I don't think I had any with my Quest 2. And it seems like the Quest 3 controllers, when they go behind something, or when they go behind your head, or when they go out of camera space, they lose their tracking. And then sometimes they seem to be a bit dicky and out of control and not quite perfect. So that's something to think about. But yeah, the Quest 2 controllers were really, really good. And the batteries would last forever. Quest 3 seems to go through batteries a little bit quicker in the controllers, but still good battery life for the controllers. But yeah, if they go out of sight, they can stop tracking sometimes. And sometimes this doesn't happen very often, but the boundary creation can cause issues, like we saw in the video. Doesn't happen very often, but sometimes it does. But not that often to really worry about. But outside of that, the Quest 2, like, you only have 3 real cons. There could be more, and if you have more, please put them in the comments below. Because, yeah, I've only been using it for a couple of weeks now, and I found it really good so far. Not too many issues. Great. It's been really good. So, do I recommend it? It's a lot of money for a first headset, especially the Quest 3. I would go for the Quest 3S if I haven't used Quest 3 before, if I haven't used VR before, and maybe even a Quest 2 if you can find a really good deal on one and you want to play PC VR, because the PC VR experience, it's not too bad on Quest 2. It's usable, it's serviceable. If that's all the money you have, I would try Quest 2 out, because you can get some really good deals on them secondhand. So, but outside of that, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. VR's amazing. I hope you guys are loving it. And if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. And if you're enjoying your Quest and you'll love it, chuck that down in the comments below. Because yeah, it's been a great experience so far, and I'm really enjoying it. And the next video, we might move into looking at the Quest 3 mainly for PC VR. We'll do a quick overview of that, because that's more what I bought it for, and we'll look at the experiences there. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.